Hi, Kathleen Gagas over here, and I'm so excited to tell you a brief story about Bataan and Corregidor. Are you excited as how excited I am? Let's start. The fall of Bataan and Corregidor is a brutal barbaric journey. Through malnutrition, disease, torture, and death was really a tragedy for those who experienced it. The Filipinos and Americans suffered under the hands of Japanese Empire. They underwent physical tortures from the Japanese soldiers. They had so much pain just to defend our country. Both Bataan and Corregidor are legendary in the history of war. Despite relentless attacks by Japanese forces in 1942 and without reinforcements coming from the United States, Filipino and American troops fought back for several months. The Battle of Bataan began on January 7, 1942 until April 9, 1942. It was fought by the United States and the Philippine Commonwealth against Japan during World War II. The battle represented the most intense phase of the Japanese invasion of the Philippines during World War II. In January 1942, forces of the Imperial Japanese Army and Navy invaded Luzon with several islands in the Philippine archipelago after bombing the American naval base at Pearl Harbor. The commander-in-chief of the U.S. and Filipino forces in the islands, General Douglas MacArthur, consolidated all of his Luzon-based units on the Bataan Peninsula to fight against the Japanese army. By this time, the Japanese controlled nearly all of Southeast Asia. The Bataan Peninsula and the island of Corregidor were the only remaining Allied strongholds in the region. Despite their lack of supplies, American and Filipino forces managed to fight the Japanese for 3 months, engaging them initially in a fighting retreat southward. As the combined American and Filipino forces made a last stand, the delay cost the Japanese valuable time and prevented immediate victory across the Pacific. The Americans surrendered at Bataan to the Japanese. Soon afterwards, U.S. and Filipino prisoners of war were forced into the Bataan Death March. In the Bataan Death March, about 76,000 U.S. and Filipino prisoners of 10,000 U.S. and 66,000 Filipino captured by the Japanese into the Philippines. They began marching from the southern end of the Bataan Peninsula. The starving and ill-treated prisoners were forced march 63 miles. Only 56,000 prisoners lived to reach the camp, and up to 10,000 people died on the way and others escaped in the jungle. The thousands of troops died because of the brutality of their captors, who starved and beat the marchers, and bayoneted those too weak to walk. Survivors were taken by rail from San Fernando to Po camps, where thousands more died from disease, murder, and starvation. The main force of General Masaharu Homa's 14th Area Army came ashore at Lingayen Gulf on the morning of December 22. The defenders failed to hold the beaches. By the end of the day, the Japanese had secured most of their objectives and were in positions to emerge onto the central plain. It was now evident to General Wainwright that he could no longer hold back the Japanese advance. Late on the afternoon of the 23rd, Wainwright telephoned General MacArthur's headquarters in Manila and informed him that any further defense of the Lingayen beaches was impracticable. MacArthur weighed two choices: either make a firm stand on the line of the Agnew and give Wainwright his best unit, the Philippine division for a counterattack, or withdrew all the way to Bataan in planned stages. He decided on the latter, thus abandoning his own plan for defense and reverting to the old Orange plan. Having made his decision to withdraw to Bataan, MacArthur notified all force commanders on the night of December 23rd that War Plan Orange 3 is in effect. That's all I can tell for the part 1 of Legacy of Heroes, the story of Bataan and Corregidor. Thank you for listening. Did you guys enjoy Did you guys enjoy it? Watch out for part 2 for more information.